Hello out there, all you people in Sooner Nation. You guys aren't used to seeing me in the middle of the week, are you? Well, I have breaking news, awesome news about a current Oklahoma wide receiver that might be able to help out Justin Brown and Kenny Stills as veteran receivers. As a junior and elder statesman at the receiving corps, breaking news just in this evening. I got it for you. Plus, some cool news that you get through. And a Sooner was injured by tearing his ACL out in Lubbock. And a pretty cool story about Lon Kruger and the OU basketball practices that will be set up. All this and more coming up next on a very special edition of this late-breaking edition of 1982 Boomer Sooner. Alright, Sooner Nation, it's time to get to some breaking news just in. I'll also have a replay of one of the greatest calls from the OU Texas series. It's not better than the Roy Williams play, but as far as funniness and hilariousness and just plain out hilarity, it's up there. It's up there. But first, this is the breaking news that I've been trying to tell you guys about. According to ESPN Sooner Nation, a Sooner website that I trust, probably one of the more reliable people on there, is a guy that used to be here in Oklahoma City. He used to work for News OK at the Daily Oklahoma, Jake Trotter. His counterparts with ESPN Sooner Nation. And from the WWLS, the sports animal here in Oklahoma City, they have announced that current junior receiver from Fresno State, Jalen Saunders, his ineligibility has been revoked. He is eligible for action ASAP. This is, of course, according to ESPN Sooner Nation and from WWLS, the sports animal, right here in Oklahoma City. Bob Stoops says on the now eligible Jalen Saunders, he says, we found out mid-practice, and then that's when we switched him from the scout teams to the ones and the twos. He says he anticipates Saunders helping him through the season. He says that we're getting a guy who's played a lot of ball and played it well. He said he's quick. He's got great sense in space. He's got great hands and ability to get open. He's a really good player, and I'm hopeful that he will be able to help and play quickly. Bob Stoops said that after practice this evening. Wow, this is going to help. It's really another guy out there that knows Kenny pretty well. He and Kenny played a little bit of high school ball together, both being from Cali. So can go in there and help him do that. Also, of course, Justin Brown, another one of the junior college players. He didn't have to do like Jalen did and wait it out because he's a Penn State junior college player. While Jalen Saunders was at Fresno State University for 2 years, his freshman year, he had 30 catches for 162 yards and 3 touches. Really jumped up his game last year in 2011. Are you ready for this one, guys? 50 pops, 1,065 yards, and 12 touches. Wow. Now that is awesomeness to the extent of greatness right there. It's pretty amazing. Now, before I get to what else you can expect, because you can expect a lot more to happen, here's that replay I was telling you about. And it's, like I said, it's up there with one of the best calls in OU history. And here it is.
Whaley will be the running back. First down and 10. There's Whaley trying to stretch it out for another huge gain. Headed for the end zone. Whaley, touchdown, Oklahoma, 64 yards. And folks, Bevo can't stand to watch it anymore. He has flat turned his back on the horns and says that's enough of that stuff. Holy Toledo.
Not the Holy Toledo part. But what about the part where basically Musburger turns his back on the horn? That's pretty good. I like that. Way to go, Brent. I wish you were calling the game again this year just for that call. That was awesome. But, of course, that won't happen with both teams having one loss. This year's Cotton Bowl, though, it's pretty cool. No, with one loss, obviously the excitement has gone down as far as nationwide. But if you're a Sooner fan, you're a Sooner fan. And speaking of that, Soonersports.com and Soonersportstv.tv has announced that OU will allow Sooner fans that are not in Dallas to follow the team into the stadium locker room from the hotel. So you get to follow everybody that's not there will get to follow the team from the hotel to the locker room on Soonersports.com or at SoonersportsTV. Last night, Bob Stoops announced at his daily call-in show that that part of the show will probably happen between the times of 8:30 to 8:45. So just be ready to rock and roll. Get your TV rocking and rolling. Get your computer ready. And be ready to jam to the Sooners as they walk into the stadium. One Sooner that will be walking into the stadium, but probably will not be able to play, probably in crutches. That is Neela Castilli. Last Saturday against Texas Tech, suffered a ACL tear in the second half. Oklahoma offensive lineman guard Adam Shedd said that he isn't depressed, but teammates are trying to keep him keep him feeling well. Of course, like I said, he tore his ACL in the second half of the bowl game. And finally, but not leastly, the University of Oklahoma men's basketball program and Lon Kruger, the former great Kansas Stadium, has announced Wednesday that practices will be streaming online at Soonersports.com and Sooner Sports TV. The practices you can see the extent of the practices and what times and all that. You can see all that. It's online at newsok.com. Just click on OU and you can find it, or click on Soonersports.com and the basketball tab, and I'm pretty sure it's up on that too. But as I said, of all the important things to know is that Jalen Saunders is now eligible for competition. Also, another junior college player that was up for play and is ready to rock and roll and has rock and rolled the last couple of weeks, Justin Brown. There's a great interview on this guy in the newest edition of Sooners Illustrated, shown here. That's him on the front. Here's the article. Great looking article. Question and answer kind of a thing. Also in the question and answer, I'll see if I can find this one for you too. There he is. They interview good old JR, Jim Ross. of WWE fame. So you can look for that also. Both of these are in this month's edition of SoonerIllustrated.com. If you're here in the Oklahoma area, of course, you can find it online at your local 7-Eleven stores, etc. If not, you can always go to SoonerIllustrated.com. Sooner Illustrated, not Sports Illustrated. SoonerIllustrated.com, and order it to get played into your house. One final time, Jalen Saunders is eligible for competition. Now, that does not mean that he'll be able to play against the Shorthorns. I don't see that happening. But he will be eligible by probably... look for him to see a lot. If he doesn't see a lot of play this week, expect him to see a little bit of play this week, but particularly next week. When we play Charlie Weiss in Kansas, expect for this guy to just be throwing the bucket. This guy's going to get thrown about... I said he had about 50 receptions last year. Expect him to get about 10, maybe even 15, up to 20 balls thrown to him. Balls thrown in his way. Now, how many he'll catch, I don't know. But expect for him to get a chunk load of balls thrown to him. If not this week, mainly next week when we play Kansas. Before we have a huge matchup with Notre Dame. And by the way, if we win that game and if we beat Texas, I anticipate us being back in the national championship race after that heartbreaking loss to Kansas State. One final time, Jalen Saunders, who is currently on the team, is eligible for competition this season. Finally, one final time. Here is the call of my boy from Lawton Mac, Dominic Whaley, getting his touchdown run, getting his touchdown on against the University of Texas last year. And like I said, one of the best calls I've ever heard Brett Musburger have. One final time, Jalen Saunders, eligible for Saturday's game against Texas.
Whaley will be the running back. First down and 10. There's Whaley trying to stretch it out for another huge gain. Headed for the end zone. Whaley, touchdown, Oklahoma, 64 yards. And folks, Bevo can't stand to watch it anymore. He has flat turned his back on the horns and says, that's enough of that stuff. Holy Toledo.